So after I went out and bought the whole bundle, elegoo, Ultra 16, I decided just to get the bigger one because I was going to get the Mars. But I got the whole bundle. I think for Black Friday, it was like 600 some bucks, or right under $600, plus the tent is another 50 or so, you know, for the exhaust, but still need a little more exhaust. But anyway, so this is my experience on when it comes to a brand new challenge when it comes to 3D printing. So this is just my experience. If there's anybody that sees this and can give me some tips or tell me that I'm wrong about something, feel free, because I don't know exactly, but I do know after a few attempts of some failed prints, basically my problem was the leveling. This is not a self-leveling machine like it says it is, which, you know, I was taking for granted that it was. That's why I went with a little more expensive one, with a little bit bigger one. I'll show you the build plate in a minute, how I would take it off, and I've seen other people take it off, and it's been kind of successful after that. But when you level this thing, and I'm not taking the credit for this, because right here in the link below of this video is a guy that did a step-by-step leveling process for this particular machine, or Saturn has any other machines that build with that kind of same build plate, is a perfect example of how to level your machine. A lot of people say bring your cards down. On top of the cards is the A4 thickness of a piece of paper, and then you go with a photocopy piece of paper, which you do. But there's a lot of videos out there showing you that you just put these cards down, let it level, and you hit manual auto leveling or whatever it is on the machine. It comes down, it does a diagnostic, and then it goes up. It's still not level, so it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into the leveling process because this guy's video, I can't take credit for it, is in, like I said, in this link below. He goes step by step. It's perfect. But anyway, after you bring the build plate down, you have to pull the cards out. But you have to loosen the screws up here. These 4 screws on top of the build plate, you have to loosen up. So, and you can't mess with them after you're done. You can't touch them after you're done, because it would take the plate back out of level. So anyway, that's that. And by the way, before we continue to the next part of the video, down here on the screen it says self-leveling. It says add these cards, but then says add a piece of paper. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. It kind of doesn't make sense. So the machine is it kind of tricks you in a way. But anyway, that's this part of it. Let me show you some of my well, first of all, let me show you this here, right here. Let me show you the how to take apart. Here it is. This thing flips up. You pull it out. Be careful, don't drop it on the screen, because that would be horrible. So this isn't the best example. Let me see here if I can get in here. Top of my, and by the way, before we move on, the cards they talk about leveling cards. It's a 4M or 4 something, 300 gram, whatever thickness or whatever it is. Come to find out, and I've been successful since then. Just get a cheap pack of leveling cards, because you're going to have to level it after every 2 or 3 prints for sure. But always, in my opinion, if you're a beginner like myself, always print a test print for 10 to 15 minutes before you print something very big or something that was going to be time consuming, because if not, you're just going to waste hours like I did. So when something comes off the build plate here, I don't use the metal scraper that it comes with, it says to use, because it's going to just ruin your plate. I use the plastic one it comes with, but when you do it, I was holding it like this, and then scraping with my right hand that's holding the camera. It would knock the screws out of whack, and I didn't realize I was doing that, which is common sense, but like I said, I'm a beginner. So I leave it on the side here, and if I do anything, I hold this hand with my fingers here, and then my other hand, my right hand, is holding camera. I will scrape it off easily. This is very, in my opinion, I don't know, like I said, I'm very new at this, so maybe I'm doing something wrong, I don't know, but what I'm getting at is this right here, these 4 screws, one here, one in the back, one there, not these 2 or those, these 4. Very critical you don't move this or move this out of whack. You push this way holding this, you're whacking it. I know this is probably common sense stuff for most people that have been 3D printing, but I am new at this for about a couple months. So, and make sure you get some microfiber. Don't be like me and take, they say on Google that, how do I clean my vat? If this is the right word for it, I don't know. This is the film that comes with it. The film that comes there. You got to buy replaceables of these. If you want to buy a machine, I didn't know this, but you have to buy replaceable, I can't touch it while I'm screens, so the light source can come through your LCD screen down there. All right, before I put this back on, like I said, I'm not going to take any chances to try to do this with one hand. I'm not going to mess up my screen or anything. Microfiber towels. I got mine at Lowe's on sale for $6 for 2 rolls for 200 pieces. They're about big as a paper towel, but I cut them in 4s. That's the only thing I use to wipe off, and always use a new piece. Never use the old one. And for no reason at all, I just make sure I put it on top of here when I'm not using it, and I lay my vat. I could be wrong about the name of this thing, but lay my tray here, and whenever I clean this out, I use a spatula, a real rubbery spatula, and I wipe it all down. When I first did my first print, and I was cleaning it with alcohol, just regular alcohol. They said to use it with a paper towel. Don't use a paper towel on that. Using paper towel around the edges here. Use a nice clean microfiber towel. It would make your film here last a lot longer. This is my original film it came with. I bought 5 more just in case. I'll probably be replacing it soon because it says after every 10 or so prints. If I'm wrong, I don't know, but I Googled it. I don't know. Google's not always truthful, correct? I don't know. So like I said, I'm not trying to say I know what I'm talking about. I'm learning myself. Change out your film so the light source can come through the LCD after every 10 or so prints, depending on your prints, I guess. And I didn't know the LCD screen down here is about 2,000 hours worth of what you have to print, and then you have to replace the LCD underneath here, and you have to take this thing all apart. I didn't know that either, but it's okay. My first couple weeks, I was like, oh man, I don't know. I should throw this thing away or sell it for $400. I got about $650, maybe a little more into this whole operation, plus the all the resin I've been using. This resin here, I don't know if this is good or bad. It seems to work fine. I bought this stuff here thinking 8K meant better. This is really thick. I don't like this stuff. I got a lot of this here. I'll probably use it for small stuff like guns and windows and doors. I don't know. Or head sculpts. It smells a lot more than the standard 3.0. This here definitely smells. Any resin smells, but it seems to have a less smell than the 8K stuff, in my opinion, after using both of them and trial and error on both of them. So that's where I'm at with my 3D printing process, where I've been doing this for a few months now, a couple months, 2.5 months, and very frustrating. But now that I had the leveling down, it seems to be, I'm going in the right direction now. Outside of that, other troubleshooting stuff haven't come across yet. I do take the flash drive and put it right in from my computer. I don't use Wi-Fi. I can. Wi-Fi is right behind the wall behind me, but I just want to make sure I like hardline stuff. I like everything hardline and simple. Put it in, let it go. As far as I know, that's all I can think about, where I'm at right now with this thing. So outside of that, let's get to the print so far. Okay, here we go. Here's what I've done so far, and how I have progressed into a positive way where I'm getting more confident, I guess. But the very first thing I ever printed was something for my daughter. It worked out pretty well, some little figurine. It wasn't bad, and I did the test print. And then I did a Batman zombie head sculpt for something I'm working on right now. But this one here was kind of messed up because it had some odd imperfections on it and stuff, but it has a hole right there if you can see it. My fingers are dirty because I had to replace a CV joint on my son's, me and him replaced it on my truck. So if I got dirty fingers, I apologize. It's just, I can't, I'm not paying people to do it when I know how to do it. So it's got a hole right there, as you can see. So I said, you know what, let me print another one. The second print of this head sculpt was a blob at the bottom. I didn't realize that my build plate was unlevel. So After about a week and messing around and finding videos and looking, I finally had the build plate down, I think, as a leveling process for this particular machine, the Satern Ultra 16. So here's the next one. Not bad, but still, the supports, I don't think that's the print does show it, this mask kind of messed up, and like it's supposed to be messed up because he's, you know, all banged up, and I get it. This is supposed to be like that, isn't like I broke that, but I think these little holes are from my supports because the support's a little overkill, I think, but that's okay. That's okay because what I'm using this for, it doesn't matter, but I decided, okay, I need to get better at it. So the next thing I printed was, this is the 8K opposed to the, like I showed you earlier, the 8K resin and the 3.0, like 3.0 I think, or 0.3 resin. It's darker. This seems to be a little more soft. I don't know, it just seems harder to me than this one. I know it's probably not, but it just seems that way. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. So these two are, this is the 8K, this is the standard like 3.0. Same thing. I'd rather go with this one, the lighter. I don't know. It's just this stuff's really smelly, in my opinion. So these turned out okay. Not bad. Really nice. The back, you can see, you know, the supports are kind of tough there, but I'm going to sand this down. I'm going to use this for a project I'm working on. Then I tried a different window where it did not take well. I don't know if it was me trying to take this. I think it was me taking the supports off and breaking it because it's not very, see, it's very, these aren't, see, I can use this as a old house, abandoned house, and, you know, in rubble. That's what I'm going to use it for. It's already cracked there, as you can see. I think it was me trying to get it off and being too aggressive. So I learned from that. I got to fix my supports when in the software, whatever software you use, and lessen the supports up a little bit and not make them so strong at the end of the support because it's really, you'll see here in a minute, it's pretty tough. So then I went with the barrel. You can see the support lines, no big deal, but the top came out really well. I didn't sand these or nothing yet, so these are just right off the cleaning, out of curing and cleaning. I didn't sand any of these. I didn't sand anything. I didn't sand anything down, or, you know, they just been cleaned and cured. That's it. So the barrel came out nice. These little spots here where supports are on, I can sand that down. I don't care about that. It's just when it just messes up and leaves little imperfections inside the model you're using. So it, you know, you don't want the less work cleaning up wise and sanding wise, the better. But I do realize with 3D printing, you're gonna have to use a lot of cleanup, a lot of milliput or carbondo, or hopefully not that, but you're gonna have to do some cleaning up, and I do realize that. It isn't like I know I'm gonna get it flawlessly, and at least I won't, and then you're done. Then I went with the, I printed this, while we're here, I printed these three together on my plate. You'll see here in a second, I'll show you, but these three all together. I'm trying to get most prints out of my film as possible, meaning my film, where the resin sits in, the vat, I think they call it. I could be wrong, I don't know, but that tray I was telling you about, you have to replace the film in. So this one here, really nice. This one turned out really well. And there's a little bit of cleanup, but you know, it's not bad. This is really nice. It turned out really good. And I did realize after I did these prints, after about several prints and a few failed ones, that I can add light supports, not so much heavy all the time. So that brings us to this one. This turned out really well. I'm surprised that I got the fingers to come out nicely because I put light, and you can see I got to sand his fingers a little bit, which I'm afraid to do because you can see there's little imperfections where the supports are, and I did put a hole down here, but this hole was there. I don't know I don't know how that got there, but it's there. You can see on the back, because I had it at a 45-degree angle, it prints like this. It prints upside down. You'll see here in a minute when I made a video of pulling this out of the 3D printer. But you'll be visually seeing this part first, which is nice and smooth. There's only a couple small ones like right here. And this is hollow. You can hollow your figure, hollow whatever you're doing out if you want to save some resin. I didn't need to think this had to be a solid piece, but I know he's probably fragile if I really want to snap him. But pretty solid though. Wonderful detail. But the supports back here, I'm going to have to do some work. I'm going to do some sanding, which is okay. And it took me forever to get him out of the cocoon of supports he was in. But use a small set of snips. I was using regular snippers. I bought some real, yeah, you can get them anywhere at Harbor Freight, like for $2.99. Real tiny little snips of work. But yeah, he's got some cleanup, and then I'm going to paint him up. So there we go. Outside of that, I'm glad I still have the 3D printing stuff to do. I've always wanted to do it for the past couple of years. I've been dragging my feet to do it. And if you're a newcomer, and I understand it's all a learning process, and the more videos that are on YouTube, the better. The way you can figure stuff out, and you can Google things, look at things, research things. So there's going to be a process to it, and I'm still I'm way behind a lot of people, and I know they got a long way to go, to figure this out. But anyway, this is what, I'm going to show you guys exactly from somebody that really started this and doesn't know what they're doing kind of process where I'm at right now, what I would change or what I wouldn't change. There was a time where I wanted to give up and throw it in the trash or just sell it for $400. I mean, because it was really getting aggravating, but I was like, okay, I have to just keep going at it, and it's a learning curve. I knew it was going to be a learning curve though, but it's okay. So if you're thinking about getting into a 3D printer, I would buy a bigger one, not a smaller one. I know you can cut this, things in half, but these take a while to print, which I'm not telling anybody something they don't know if they do print. But me, it takes a few hours. Like this right here, these three here, not that one. These three here, not this. These three here took about 5.5, 6 hours. 5.5, 4.5, 5 hours. About 5 hours or so. And I do have my machine on standard print, not fast print. I do turn on the preheated bay for the tray, and I hope I'm not forgetting something, but it's about the level. As far as I know, go ahead and get yourself a 3D printer. I know it's a huge learning curve, but as long as you have a level, your build plate is level. Maybe look into a 3D printer that has an easy user-friendly build plate process where you can level it without so much, because this printer here, there's a lot to it, in my opinion, as somebody starting this out to get it perfectly level. Because you got like I said, check that video out. I wasn't going to make a video on it because this guy has a perfect video step by step what to do, but most importantly, which I thought was auto leveling, but it's not. I don't think any machine is. I could be wrong. I don't know. But the Satern Ultra 16 is not basically auto leveling. You do have to loosen the screws up. You have to turn them. You'll see in that video if you watch it. If you really want to get a 3D printer, start printing, look at that first, and you keep in mind you have to get resin. I bought it like 5 or 6 of them in a bulk on Black Friday just to have plenty. You got to buy film within around 2,000 hours or so. If your screen holds up, if it doesn't hold up, I don't know. But roughly 2,000 hours from what I'm seeing. I could be wrong, I don't know. But what I've been Googling and seeing, you do have to replace the CDL screen inside your 3D printer. It's about $125, $130, whatever it is. But the problem is, you have to take the machine completely apart to get to that LCD screen. So just keep that in mind. I didn't know that. I thought you had to buy resin, but I didn't know you had to buy film for the tray, which is, it's okay. That I got 5 of them for like $29 that fit my machine, and I got plenty of resin. But now I'm just waiting for possibly one day to have to replace my LCD screen, which I don't want to throw away the machine if it's working fine just because of my screen. I will replace it. But from what I've seen, again, I guess thank God for YouTube, because when you got a problem with your car or anything like that, or everything's on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube, which is fine. That's how, if you can do it yourself and save yourself money and you're a little bit mechanically inclined, I say go ahead and do it. But like I said, for this whole bundle, it was like 500 and some bucks, a little more, a little less with tax, like close, let's say 600 for the whole bundle. I got the wash station, cure station combo, and the Ultra Satern 16, and I think that was it. And I did buy, you've seen in the beginning of the video, a foam cutter, tabletop wire cutter. So I went nutty with I bought all this stuff so I can start building like better dioramas in buildings and stuff like that. So anyway, I say if you're going to get into 3D printing, it is a huge learning curve, maybe less for some people or more for some people, depending who you are. Me, it takes a few times. But when I get it, I get it. But it may take me a few more times or a few extra steps and a little bit more troubleshooting than most people. But I do finally get there. But I still have a long way to go but I'm going to start hitting bigger stuff now. This was my test here to see if I could get something smooth as I could get it, and I got it here. But I'm going to start getting into the stuff where the reason why I bought the 3D printer was to do bigger, like 14, 15-inch statues of whoever, Wolverine, whoever, it doesn't even matter, whatever, monsters, whatever. So anyway, that's it. I appreciate you watching. I hope this wasn't too long. If there's something I forgot or something you want to talk about or in the comments saying or something I need to correct myself from, I'm 100% open to that. I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, this is new to me, and I'm only seeing what I only know what I've seen and what I've experienced, and I'm sure a lot of it's probably not good or bad or right or wrong. I don't know, but I do know the best leveling video, and I know I keep saying this, is at the end of the link below. I can't remember the name of the guy's channel, but it doesn't matter. I have it in the link of this video right at the comments. I'll put it in the comments as well. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back for some more with some 3D printing.